Greetings, class. Welcome to Mr. Marashanyi online lessons. Now talking about the Paris Peace Settlement. On our last lesson, we talked about the effects of what we call the First World War. Saka pari kunzi hondo yapera vanhu vanogara pasi vakagara musangano mu Paris Peace Conference wakagariwa musangano munyika yeFrance, and that conference become known as the Paris Peace Conference. Saka vari pamusangano wa the Paris Peace Conference pane matreaties akasainwa neainzi defeated powers. Matreaties iwayo anosanganisira number 1 yainzi the Treaty of Versailles, which was signed by Germany mugore ra 1919, and pakasainwawo treaty yainzi the Saint-Germain signed with Austria mugore ra 1919. Pakasainwa treaty yainzi the Treaty of Trianon signed with Hungary mugore ra 1920. The Treaty of Sevres was signed by Turkey mugore ra 1920. The Treaty of Lausanne was signed with Turkey again mugore ra 1923. Ndo matreaties akasainwa nema-defeated powers during the Paris Peace Conference. Ngatimbotarisa isusu countries that attended the Paris Peace Conference. The Paris Peace Conference yaka-attendwa nema-powers akawandisa anonzi iwo ma-victorious powers at the Paris Peace Conference. Number 1 paiva ne USA yakanga yakarepresentwa nemurume ainzi Woodrow Wilson. And number 2 we have Britain represented by a guy called Lloyd George. Number 3 we have France represented by a guy called Georges Clemenceau. Number 4 we have Italy represented by Vittorio Emanuele Orlando. Number 4 we have Japan represented by Ikali. Number 5 we have Greece represented by Venizelos. Number G we have South Africa represented by Jan Smuts. So these are the countries or the victorious powers represented at the Paris Peace Settlement. Ndo vakawina vakanga vari pa Paris Peace Conference. But sezvamunongoziva vanhu vakaungana pane vanenge vachinyanya kutaurisa. Pane 3 vanhu vakange vachinyanya kutaurisa vatinoti isusu the big 3 pavanhu vaka-attenda yainzi the Paris Peace Conference. The big 3 yakanga ine USA represented by Woodrow Wilson, Britain represented by Lloyd George, France represented by Georges Clemenceau. Ava ndo vainyanya kutaurisa and vakapuwa zita rekunzi the big 3. And here we have the defeated powers Germany, Hungary, Turkey, Austria and Bulgaria vanova vakasaina ma-treaties during the Paris Peace Conference. Moving on to another area, let us now talk about the aims or the perspectives or the views of the big 3 during the Paris Peace Conference. Regai timbonzwa murume ainzi Woodrow Wilson aiti to prevent a peace say nekuti musangano, remember they summoned this conference so that they can arrange on the ways, they can discuss ways to avoid the coming of another war, especially a world war. Saka Woodrow Wilson aiti kudi. Woodrow Wilson he come up with what you call 14 points. Number 1, there must be an end to secret diplomacy or secret treaties. Kurati ma-treaties I signwa secretly nema countries like zvakaitika pa system of alliance where Germany, Austria, Hungary and Italy secretly signed the Triple Alliance. Izozo aiti ngazvimire. And also for example zvakaitika mugore ra 1907 where Britain, France and Russia came together and signed a secret agreement yakazopiwa zita rekuti the Triple Entente. Aiti ma secret agreements because takaona kuti ndiwo akakonzeresa the outbreak of the First World War, anofanirwa kuti amire. Inini on this one ndinotenderana nayo. Number 2, but there must be freedom of seas, access to the sea. Each and every country must be given access to the sea zvanga zvakanakire kuavoid conflicts. There was to be removal of economic barriers to trade. For example, sanctions anga akaita sakapuwa Zimbabwe vaiti ngaparemovwe sanctions, ngaparemovwe economic barriers kuma countries ese, especially on the issue of trade. Then also number 3, there was to be reduction of armaments kureducwa kwemasoja to a level consistent with the domestic service. Kuti pangowanika masoja anokwanisa kuchengetedza nyika yavo chete. There was to be settlement of colonial claims with the proper regard to the interest of the inhabitants. And also German troops were to be evacuated, which means move out of the Russian territory. Izvaizobatsira kuti paisazova conflict between Russia and Germany zvekare. There was to be the restoration of Belgium sovereignty. Alsace and Lorraine was to be given back to France, and Italy was to recover her proper boundaries in the Francia. The subject people under Austria-Hungary were to be independent. Romania, Serbia, and Montenegro were to be evacuated, and Serbia was to be given access to the sea. The people under the Turkish rule were to be autonomous, and the Dardanelles were to be open to ships and commerce of all nations. An independent Poland was to be created and given access to the sea. An international organization was to be formed to guarantee the independence of all the states, and both great and small. Right, I want you to just write these partices. I can't explain them. These are the partices. To what extent were you draw on 14 points followed? Ndapaka follow uchaona points followed, nema points not followed. Right, ngatitarise isusu ma aims or ma perspectives of the big 3. Regatibonzwa titange nemurume ainzi Woodrow. Besides 14 points, anga ane umwe muono upi. Aida kuti ti-establish a peace without humiliating ma-defeated powers. Kuti ngati-establish a peace tisinganyadzise ma-defeated powers, because tika-humiliate ma-defeated powers zvichazokonzeresa futi the outbreak of another war. Then akati iwe ngati-reduce ma-armaments, to reduce armaments, kureduce number yemasoja, to prevent Germany from becoming aggressive again, to establish lasting peace, to have a fair settlement, because tikavane unfair settlement zvichakonzeresa futi bitterness yokonzeresa coming of another war. To establish an international association of organizations, ndoku establish the League of Nations. To base the peace treaties on the 14 points, to create a world made of safe democracy, to punish Germany for her aggression, kuti Germany imbopunishwa nekuda kuti yakanga ichidena zvakanyanya during the First World War. You wanted also to avoid forcing Germany to pay heavy damages. Saka iti Germany ngaibhadhare but ngaisanyanyisa kuzobhadhara ma heavy what? Damages. Right, and he wanted self-determination and to give nations democratic governments of their choice. Right, toenda pamuono wa Georges Clemenceau. Georges Clemenceau anga ane ruvengo. He was so much against Germany. And because of that, uchaona kuti every view yake, it was at a disadvantage of Germany. It was there to disadvantage Germany. Number 1, he wanted the revenge on Germany for France's suffering. Number 2, to make Germany pay for the cost of damages. And even he went as far as said, I want Germany to pay for the costs or caused by the outbreak of First World War, including loss of human lives. I think badal. To punish Germany for the humiliation she had inflicted on France after defeating her in the 1870 to 71 war known as the Franco-Prussian War. To ensure that Germany would never be able to attack France again, which means, in other words, either Germany, even the weakest country in Europe, the Clemenceau War. To take away German lands, the Clemenceau War. To weaken German industries and to weaken German political. To reduce her armed forces, to weaken German militarily and economically. To have Germany divided into small states. To hang the Kaiser. To return the return of Alsace and Lorraine to France, prevention of union of Germany and Austria, the return of French flags taken by Germany, Germany was to accept the responsibility of causing the war. Ndoangori muono wemurume ainzi Clement Zua. Toenda pamurume ainzi iye Lloyd Georges of Britain. Uyu manje akatora a middle approach between Clement Zua's extremist harsh terms on German and moderate approach ya Wilson. Saka yangu apakati, he wanted an end of the German threat to the British Navy and Empire, to make Germany a non-aggressive country without colonies. Either Germany is a country aggressive shekara. To prevent Germany from becoming economically weak so that a revival of European industry and trade is not hindered. Kura kuti anga asingadi kuti Germany ive very weak economically nekuti iyaiza kuti Germany was a head trading partner. Germany was a head trading partner. To prevent Germany from becoming very poor such that the Germans won't turn to communism. To avoid humiliating Germans so that they have no reason to seek revenge. Saka ida kuti Germany ipanishwe but zvisazonyanyisa, because ikanyanya kupanishwa yaizosika futi revenge zvokonzeresa outbreak of another war. To create a balance of power so that no one European country can threaten others. To hang the Kaiser and to make Germany pay for all damages, but not the level Idiwana Clement Zua pay, including loss of human life. So I hope, guys, you are assisted on what you call the views or the perspectives of the big three. Meet you in the next lesson.